welcome. Thank you so much
Thank
for being on
you.
my podcast.
Yeah, thank you for being flexible with me today.
Oh, no worries. I think with Chef Ryan, I waited 3 hours. So,
Yeah, very on brand of him.
yeah, but no, like it's totally cool. I honestly like wasn't prepared with the question, so I just went over some more and added some more. So it was like worked out for
Perfect.
both of us.
Love it.
Welcome, everybody. This is Pop Off with James. I forget which episode number this is, but for today, we have a below deck down under Australia. Brittini, how are you?
Oh my God, thank you so much. I'm doing fabulous. I'm doing fabulous. I just danced for like an hour in the mirror, so I'm feeling really juicy.
Oh my God, I do that all the time too. I'm like, I think my neighbors get like a show from the building across the street.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah. I like your little sign in the background.
Thank you. Gotta, BPE, she's always with me, big pussy energy. So
How was being on below deck? Like, that's crazy. Like, how was it?
it's crazy. And it like because below deck was just it was still a yacht job. Like I was working. Like it's crazy to think that like I was on a reality show because like when I think back to that memory, it was like, oh yeah, I worked on Thalassa, like motor yacht. Like I just worked on a boat. So it's like separate. It's like, yeah, I worked on below deck, but like it was a job. So it's
Mhm.
sometimes I remind myself, I'm like, you were on a TV show. That shit's wild. Like I forget.
Oh, a lot of people do say that. It's like it sets apart different reality shows because this reality show you're actually like working. And it's not like you're pretending to work like they did on the hills and stuff. Like you're actually busting your ass on camera, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. And there's no like end goal. The end goal is just to like complete your season. Like there's no like prize at the end. So it's just a very like everyday in the life experience, really.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit, or tell me, I guess, a little bit about how you got involved in the show, like the story there?
I mean, the story was more that I just knew I wanted to be on it. And so I applied. And to be honest, it was quite easy because, I mean, only 1% of the population, probably less than, are actual people who work on yachts. And then to take out, okay, the percentage of people who work on yachts who actually want to be on a reality show, like it's a very slim pool. So it was actually really breezy. I originally was supposed to be, they had me, they were setting me up to be on Below Deck with Captain Lee, but that got changed, and then I got onto Below Deck Down Under.
Oh my God, was that a pop-off exclusive?
I probably, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Like it wasn't like official, but they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be on Below Deck," and then it was like kind of last minute change up.
Oh, that's so cool. I wonder what would have happened differently if like you were on that below deck.
Yeah, I don't know. I believe everything happens for a reason. It was like divine timing, and it felt really good.
Yeah. So what do you think was like the highlight of your season for you and the low light of the season for you?
Yeah. The highlight was the first thing that comes to my mind was bunking with Toomey. She was like my girl, and unfortunately, they didn't really show that relationship as much as I wish they did. But her and I were like together, and it felt really nice and nourishing to me because, of course, I was on deck with the men, and so it was just so nice to have like Aisha and Toomey as like my girls to like come to when I just wanted to like kind of collapse and like surrender into my more feminine energy. Oh, and then um, my low point, I guess, was just more the energy of like I felt in the beginning like I came in with the least amount of experience, so the energy of like always needing to catch up, and then of course in underneath that was like, well, because I'm a female, I felt like I was always trying to catch up no matter where my skill level was at. So that energy kind of was heavy in the beginning. And then in the middle, when like Captain Jason gave me a hug and was like, you're doing a really good job. And like, you're actually improving more than they are. That like kind of switched for me. So the beginning, I was just always like catching up a ladder, it felt like though.
Yeah, I read that you did an interview and you actually discussed that about how Captain Lee, or not Captain Lee, sorry, Captain Jason And being on the show is actually kind of what kind of sent you down the road to like your BDE kind of, or BPE, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why they said that because that's not actually the real real thing. I've been yeah, it kind of got worded, I think, weirdly. I actually been
Yeah.
in my feminine journey for 2 years, so
Mm.
that was like a year and a half, 2 years in. So that yeah, I don't know why it was worded that way, but being on below deck and being with all the men after like being on this feminine journey really brought me to light like how in my past, because that was the first time I was back on a yacht as a deckhand while embodying really my feminine. It brought back to life of like how much I was trying to neutralize myself so that I could fit in, which meant I was like ignoring my feminine energy and just really becoming trying to be more masculine so I could fit in with the guys. And so like working on Thalassa, it brought to life like what I was doing in the past and how that wasn't like feeling good in my body and how important it was to like be with my girls when I could so that I could feel like the polarity within myself.
And I guess like the show definitely gave you more of like an audience, gave you more like a platform, which, helps probably to kind of spread your message and kind of, you know, I see your posts on social media and everything. I think they're kick ass. Like,
Thank
it's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, well, it's crazy because when I went on Below Deck, I had no idea. One, I was going to live in Austin, and two, I was going to own a business, and three, I was going to own a business that was called Big Pussy Energy. I had no idea. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'll go on the show to promote it. Like, this literally got birthed 2 months ago. September 1st was when it got released. So, and the show's been out for like almost a year, or like 10 months. So it just organically really just came into that. And like you said, like I have a platform, I have a voice, and I'm so like I have so much gratitude that I do, and I'm using it to promote like female or just honestly sensuality and being in your body with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually going to touch on this a little bit later, but now that we're on the topic, um, can you describe big pussy energy and, simple
Yeah,
terms?
sure. It's really a space that I have cultivated for it is for female identifying right now, and I have subgroups for where everyone can come. But in general, it's for women to come and to give themselves the permission to explore and own and embody their sensual energy. And I use the modalities of sensual embodiment, twerking, and lap dancing. And I use those because our sensual energy has been constructed into like over sexualized. Like sensual energy and sexual energy are completely opposite. Sensual energy is embodied. Like I can be a sensual person just living, going to the grocery store. I can wash my dishes and embody sensuality, whereas sexuality, of course, is more of an erotic experience that you can tap into, but sensual is an embodied way of living. And so that's really what I speak into. And I speak into also how your sexual energy is for you. And you can share if you want, but it's not necessarily for others. Like experience it for yourself first.
So sensuality, are you talking about like how you, like how others see you? Like, can you describe sensuality in your words?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. It's funny because I do ask a lot of the clients or people I teach, like, what is sensuality to you? And it's different for everyone. Um,
Mhm.
for me, it's like slow, like like in life, like going slow, being present, taking your time, and how that looks like through movement is slow movement, like touching your arm really slowly is a lot more sensual than this, right? Like
Yeah.
just the slow presence, it's
Yeah.
it's crazy the difference. Like, so yeah, just being super aware and very embodied, like being in my body and not like anxious and in my head all the time.
It's like ownership in a
A
way.
100%. A hundred
Yeah.
percent. I love that.
Cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So what was your pathway when you were growing up? Like, what did you want to be when you were older?
Oh my God. This is so funny. When I was a kid, I was always entertaining. I so I was like singing and dancing and putting on like shows for my family. Like my grandparents would visit from Florida and I would literally put on a whole show for them every time. So it's not super like far off that like I'm on a TV show and that I'm like creating this brand that I truly want it to scale globally. Like I enjoy being seen and I think there's a gift in that. Um, So, and even in college, I actually tried out for the real world. Like I've always known as an adult that I wanted to be on a reality show.
That's amazing. Did you get
Yeah,
far in the process or anything? Or
absolutely not. It was a very humbling experience because the tryouts for the real world, I did it when I was in college and it was like an open like casting call. So you just like wait in line with like hundreds and thousands of other college kids from Detroit. Um,
Mhm.
and it was not a very like real experience. Everyone was just being characters and exaggerating
Yeah.
themselves. And I just didn't feel like that's what I want to be a character. I just want to be Brittini. And of course,
Mhm.
10 years later or however long, like I had the opportunity to show up in that way.
Yeah, that is so true. Like some people are so desperate for like fame that they're like, I'm gonna be like this, but I think the audience can definitely pick up on like someone who's not genuine and they're just not like liked, I think, in the same way somebody who's being like authentically themselves for sure.
Yeah, because especially like reality shows, like ours was 6 weeks of filming. And so for example, for that, and I don't know how long real world is, it's probably like a couple months. Like you can try to put on that mask or that persona of this idealistic version of yourself that you want to portray, but it won't last more than like a few days. Like you can't energetically, you can't hold that. It takes too much energy because it's thinking, oh, what would that I idealistic person that I'm trying to be do? It's not an innate thing that you're naturally going to do. So yeah, that's why you can see through it because it just chips away pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually so true. I was gonna say something like that as well. Um, did you have any fears? Because I spoke to Georgia from Sailing Eye, and she kind of
Mhm.
seemed a lot of like she had a lot of reservations about like how she was going to be portrayed, how she was going to be edited. Like taking this from this conversation, making it sound like she said this, etc. Did
Mhm.
you go into the experience with any of those feelings? And if you did or didn't, were they true or not?
Yeah. Of course I did. Like you hear all these things, what's a reality show, right? And
Mm,
honestly, like you said in the beginning, Below Deck is so unique. So, so unique. I'm so honored and proud to say that I was on Below Deck because like I don't know if you've heard, but like producers don't really like they don't touch you at all and they don't create drama. They don't tell you what to say or they don't tell you something that someone said and they actually didn't say it. Like I hear it from other shows. So when I was done filming, I was so proud of myself because I was like, fuck yeah, like I showed up fully as myself. So at the end of filming, I was really excited. And of course, after filming, there's like months of like editing and you're just kind of waiting. You're like kind of ruminating your head, like, oh my God, what is it actually going to look like I have the executive producer's phone number on my phone, and I was able to text her and call her and be anxious and tell her all the things that I was like anxious about. And she called me and she would talk to me for hours and all the other producers. So that's why I think it's so unique is that they didn't just go up and leave. Like I was in full contact and I still am with them. So if I ever had anxieties around it, they'd just be like, "You're totally fine." Like I just did the episode that you're talking about, and it looks great. So I had
yeah.
them, but I was able to talk to the people who are actually doing it. So it's good.
Uh, was it Nadine by chance?
Yes, I love Nadine.
I don't know her like pretty much at all, but we have, messaged and people have talked about her a lot. She seems amazing
Yeah,
for
I call
sure.
her Mama Nadine. She can hold a lot of space for a lot of people, which
Oh,
is amazing. Yeah.
I always wondered like, where are they on the boat? Are they on like this room, like watching you guys, or like, where are they?
Yeah, they're on the boat. Just
Yeah.
like us, they don't live there, but just like us, how we have morning shifts and night shifts, the camera crew also have morning shifts and night shifts. So it's not like Nadine's in there for like 24 hours. I mean, she probably is at some point. Like she's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just take over one of the rooms on the yacht and make it like the production room. So it's not one of the guest rooms. They like convert one of the rooms into that.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if they're like on the cameraman point of view, if there's like any shots that they can't use because like producers walking by.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, the things I've thought about more is like you have a mic on 24/7, like, or you have a mic on like essentially 24/7 and a camera because the camera and mic are in your room too. And like there's a camera guy following you, and like the person with the mic is also following you too. And so like when you go to the bathroom, like they hear everything. Like that's what I was thinking about. Like I didn't care that I was like naked and stuff because they can't show it. So I'm like, who cares? But
Yeah.
like I was just like, if you go to the bathroom, you know that guy would like heard everything. And you like walk out and they just pretend they don't know anything.
Is there like a rule you can't take off your mic because it probably takes too
Yeah.
much longer to put it back on? Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to because you have to like go in and out. You're like working.
Oh yeah, true, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm always thinking like, what is going on like outside of the camera? Like when I'm watching my show.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly double the work because you're like you're working a yacht like full out like how you would without a show, and then you also have like 20 extra people that you have to move around and work around as well. So I know when I before I got on Below Deck, people in the yachting world were like, oh, there's two crews. There's the one that actually does the yachting and one that does the filming. And now that I've done it. They're like, no, it's you. Like you're the crew and that's it.
Oh, yeah, because I was gonna say something, but I was like, no, maybe not. Um,
Okay, you can always edit
um,
out.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna say like I did an interview with somebody and they were like, blah 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 XYZ, they don't work, like they just are there for the cameras and they
Yeah.
try to create storylines, and then when the camera's not on them they're just like doing nothing. I'm like, I wonder if that was on your season too, or just was everybody
No.
working really hard?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think everyone was working as hard as they would normally work.
Mm,
Obviously, there was different levels of work ethic on our boat that season. But I think that's just how that person and those people normally work anyway. So I don't think it like I said, it's like you can't perform for that long.
yeah,
Like you can't put a mask on for that long.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And did you were you ever thinking about what is going to be my storyline this season? Did that thought ever cross your head? Like,
Oh, of course, of
yeah,
course. I I of course, there's so much that they couldn't show just because of time, that I thought was gonna be in my storyline that just wasn't, and, yeah, I'm really trying to think, it's been a minute, but, um, I obviously my it's crazy when you think about it, right? There's 9 crew members, so that's 9 perspectives of a season already. So we're starting with 9 perspectives. And then you gotta zoom out and there's like I don't know how many editors are on the show, but like let's say there's like 10 people editing the show. Okay, so that's 19 perspectives. But then they have to take all those perspectives and make one cohesive perspective for the whole world now to see. So I of course it's like my perspective is like, holy shit, that was like the Brittini show. But like, of course, like there's so many perspectives. Like I can't assume that. So
yeah,
yeah, it was like really fun to watch because every week came out and I was like, how am I going to be in it? Like, how's it going to look?
yeah. I never thought about that because you're only seeing what's happening to you. So
Yeah.
you're thinking like the show's going to be like this whole other thing, but really
Yeah.
all this other shit happened and you didn't see it.
Oh yeah, like if I wasn't in the shot, I had no idea. So all the interior drama, I had no idea. I didn't know, like for example, Magda was going to get fired. I was like, what? I didn't know she was doing a poor job. Like I didn't know she was
Yeah,
texting. I had no idea.
yeah,
So yeah, it's I found out while everyone else found out.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, did you know anything about the chef?
Like keep getting fired.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know like anyone. I didn't know as anyone. What I didn't know anyone was going to get fired until they did.
Mhm.
Um, And like I honestly didn't know how the food was either. I just knew how the food was for us. And so I wasn't shocked just because you know, not like work ethic wise, but just like working with Ryan is
Yeah,
it was difficult. And so that didn't really shock me. Um
yeah,
I didn't know what his like food was looking like though either.
yeah, yeah. He said the same thing to me. He says that some people say he's hard to work with. So yeah.
Yeah.
um. So did you realize that you and Culver's relationship was going to be such a big part of the season, the storyline?
Oh, I mean, yeah, because I knew like as the season ended, like there was no romantic hookups, there's nothing. And so of course, like that was like the one thing that had like some like excitement. Because like at the end of the day, if that was going on and then there was also like a potential like romance or there was a romance going on, that would probably wouldn't have been shown because it was just more like it was literally like yacht goggles. And that's what I keep saying. Like I've always used the term yacht goggles. It was like it's like the goggles you put on because you have like you're just only seeing those 8 people for 6 weeks. And you also are sharing a shared experience. So not even just the show, but like you get yacht goggles no matter what yacht you're on because you're experiencing this shared experience with someone. It really what occurred was that we were really good friends and we have chemistry, period. But I was like, fuck it, let's make it romantic. Like I was just like I was like so open to whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously like Culver is like just going down a different path.
When you saw back the show and you saw his like interviews, were you surprised at anything he was saying? Like, did you think it was going one way and he was, kind of saying other ways inside the interview, or?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, his interviews, I feel like were still accurate to how I was like experiencing it. It was very like, you know, very unclear. It was like, oh, I love her. Maybe later. Like, it was very like 1 minute it's hot and then another minute it's like stone cold. And like he was like, let's go on a like I was like, I'm going on a band trip. He's like, oh, I want to come. It's like, and I was like, like you share a bed like like what that means, like 2 weeks together. That's a long time. And so yeah, it was more just like this like flow of like, do you like me, do you not? And of course it was like a year and a half, like a year ago. So I've, learned so much from it, but it's a funny, it's just like an innocent, like fun friendship potential experience, really.
Yeah.
But I did see on Watch What Happens Live
What?
Andy Cohen asked, like, would you like, I think he used the word snuggle, but like snuggle Magda or Bertini. And he was like Bertini, and he was like, that maybe we'll like have something later in the future. And I was like, Culver, shut the hell up.
He's
You're
just
not
fanning the
playing games.
flames.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, maybe this flame will touch. I'm like, okay. But I love him. I really do.
Oh, I was talking to Culver and I was like, can you confirm or deny if you guys went on this trip? And he's like, no, I can't. I was like,
Yeah,
did
I
you?
don't know. No, well, we got kicked out of Australia, like all of us, because the lockdown. So Australia went in a second lockdown in July of 2021, and it
Oh,
was 3 days after filming. So like that perfect timing. But we
mhm,
just like physically weren't going to be able to. But the plan was to, for sure. Yeah.
mhm. Are you still like in touch with everybody? Like, do you hang out with them at all
Yeah.
or?
Oh my God, it's funny you asked that. I am in touch. I'm seeing Benny in like 2 weeks. He lives in Tulum, so I'm going to Tulum. And then I'm going to see Tumi in like a month in South Africa.
Nice. Toomey is
Yeah,
like one of my favorite people
yeah.
from Below Deck. Yeah.
So period. I love her. She's iconic in the sense of like she's so authentic and she's the most authentic human being. Like she'll say her truth no matter if it's gonna make her leave something that's just not aligned with her or whatever. She doesn't care the outcome. I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Period.
Mhm. Per,
Yeah. Um, can we talk about Jamie?
yeah.
Okay. Um, so I saw an article and it said Jamie is the voted the worst Below Deck castmate.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but did he really deserve that title? Do you think?
He like voted the number one worst?
Yeah.
God. Obviously that's just like one person's opinion, but
Yeah.
um no, I don't think he'd be the worst of all below decks. Like damn, that's such a cesspool of like good there's like so many.
Mhm.
And like worse, it's like what are you marking that off of?
Yeah.
Um however, yeah, yeah, he's an interesting bloke for sure.
Yeah, did more happen that was just edited out or something? Because from my point of view, it was like, oh, like, the bitch thing, etc.
Yeah.
It didn't seem that kind of deep to me, but he
So
took it very deeply.
exactly. That's honestly with that whole storyline, nothing more happened than what we wasn't shown. So yeah, that's what happened. And that's why it was very like I was like very confused and like kind of shocked when Captain came to me because I was like, this I felt like so misunderstood. And I'm not a bully and I'm not like a hateful, like I'm not gonna fuck with you to fuck with you type of person. And so the fact that Captain came to me like really threw me off tracks. I was like, I don't even know what is happening at this point. But really at the end of the day, like the word bitch obviously is a very triggering word for him. And of course, like that we maybe Aisha and I didn't need to like I mean, honestly, I didn't feel like we were pushing any, like, I didn't realize, like, it was like so fragile. I'll
Mhm.
take whatever responsibility that needs to be taken. Like, of course, like, if someone says not to do it, don't do it. So I take responsibility on that end. And, like, he gets to also take responsibility for, like, if something is triggering to him, to not make it an outward, like, point the finger at the person that's triggering you, right? So that's like saying if like the word macaroni triggered me and someone said macaroni to me, I'm like, how fucking dare you that you said macaroni? It's like that's
Yeah,
an inward and like I say that word because it's like so like, oh, that's crazy. But like that's what triggers are. It's a more inward experience where, if I know I'm not a bitch, because I'm not, like I know that and I know I'm not a bully, then those words don't trigger me because it's like, okay, cool, that's what you think. That's your opinion, not me, you know?
yeah,
So that's how I view it. It's like he just gets to do some inner work.
yeah. That's a good point. You have to like watch your reaction, and you know what I mean? You can't control what people say, but you can control kind of how you react to it and how you
Mhm.
process things in some way, right?
Yeah.
Do you watch Below Deck at all? Like any other seasons?
I watched a little bit of the Med that just ended. Courtney and I
Mm,
did watch what happens together, so I watched
nice.
some of that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you weren't on your season, what other captain would you have hoped to have been, on with?
Yeah. I don't know, the adventure one that's about to come out, that looks pretty dope. So
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that, but I just feel like that energy is very much my energy. Captain wise though, I feel oh, it's so like Lee, I feel like is so hands off. So I
Mm.
feel like that could be nice in some way, but I'll just say I've done the Caribbean before and I have never done the Med. So I would just, for the sheer fact of that, I would do the Med with Sandy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she like wants to hype up the women on deck. So it's always nice to have that like energy behind you.
Would you say that she has big pussy energy?
Yeah, Sandy for sure has some big VP, big plus energy. Yeah.
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 She gets a lot of freaking hate online, and it's like,
Hello.
bonjour, how are you?
Oh, bonjour. Je m'appelle Brittini et toi? I was
Comment
like, if
ça
we're
va?
going for it, we're going for it.
Exactly. I'm so sorry. I should have had this set up beforehand, but I'm just setting it up right
You're good.
now. My hair is all crazy.
Sounds great.
Thank you. You're so nice. Do I have big pussy energy?
Ah, there he goes. We're popping it off.
Yeah, bruh.
I
Let me fix
definitely
this light.
do right now. That's for sure.
Am I in the middle?
Yeah. It's just kind of off because the wall's next to you. Can you tilt it to the wall? That corner wall's not there at all?
Like
Yeah. That looks a little better. There you go.
this lighting is so bunk because it just like changes out of nowhere. So I'm like looking one way and then it's like bam another
Where are you?
way. So I live in a studio apartment. So
Are you
I'm
in your closet?
currently
It looks like a closet.
Kind of. It's like a shoe area near the front door.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
You
Hey, you gotta
gotta
start
make it
somewhere,
work.
man. Yeah.
Exactly. It's my first time filming with the AirPods, so hopefully
Hmm.
that's good audio.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she overcame a lot, and she's kind of likes to guide people. She likes to encourage people.
Yeah. I mean,
I
and at
like
the
it.
end of the day, we're all human.
Mhm.
So people can criticize and see negative parts and like, yeah, maybe they are negative, but like we're all freaking human. We're all gonna make mistakes and dictate things differently. And maybe we think they're mistakes, but you can't do anything about the past, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody had like a reel of every mistake I made in my life
Oh my
and
God.
could rewind and pause whenever they wanted, I'd be like,
And
oh
like
shit.
criticize about it and like label you for it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, exactly. And on that note, did you get any like crazy social media hate, any like threatening messages, anything like that?
No, I didn't get any. I
Mm.
guess the most was like you really shouldn't call Jamie a bitch. Like that was probably like the most, and I probably got like five of those. Like I could count it on my hand, you know, like
Yeah.
it's honestly been really supportive. And then especially now with Big Pussy Energy and like I call myself a fem or a sensual empowerment facilitator. So people, if they find me from the show, they find me as like this female deckhand, which has a spark of empowerment in it. And then they come and they see what I'm doing. And, you know, from the outside, like I would think like, oh, maybe she gets like creepy messages or sexy messages about, and actually no, I get only mostly empowering, like from men and women, like, oh my God, I
Mhm.
found you on the show. And I usually don't follow reality people. Like that's how it usually goes. But like your page is so inspiring. So I haven't received really any negative feedback. And if I did, I just like honestly block them. I don't know if that's petty, but it's just like I don't even want to put my energy into that. So I'm just like, and they usually have 12 followers, the people that are the rudest. Like it's like a bot. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's so true. But
yeah.
I do the same thing. Like I learned a long time ago, no matter how positive, no matter how supportive, no matter who you are, people are still gonna be like haters. I guess not in your case, but um
I mean,
I
I think I've
honestly,
blocked some people because it's just like you don't I don't even want there's no need to even deal with it.
yeah, and that's amazing. That's like the perfect thing to do. I haven't went through my comments and read them in I don't know how long. Like you know what I mean? If I
Mhm.
tend to see one and it's positive, I'll like it or whatever. But that's how I keep saying because people are like,
Mhm.
why are you posting this? Why did you post this and not this? Oh, what you said about this is bad. And it's like, fuck off, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, let's play a game.
Okay. There's been a lot of scandals in below deck history.
Oh
So
my God.
I feel like Andy Cohen.
Yeah, I feel like you are.
um, there's been a lot of scandals in the below deck world. I'm going to name a scandal and then you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. It's got to be like, okay?
Okay. I hope I know all the scandals.
Okay. Three, two, one. Hannah being fired.
Like, who cares? The first thing that came to mind.
Honest. Three, two, one. Malia and Sandy getting backlash.
Stupid.
Stupid, yeah, for sure. Um, three, two, one. Kate's rocket penis.
Oh, love. Why is that a scandal? It's just funny. How?
Yeah,
That's great.
I think that was like the opening episode to everyone, like a lot of like long-term fans. Like that was the first thing I saw that made the bomb of the show. So,
Cool. That's great.
last one. It's not really a scandal, but what do you think of Captain Lee's one-liners?
Oh, daddy. That's just like such dad energy.
Yeah. Would you say Captain Sandy has big pussy energy? Would you say Captain Lee has big penis energy or dick energy?
Yeah, big dick energy. Yeah, I would definitely say that. And so does Jason, honestly, has a really beautiful balance of the two. Like he's really well balanced in his masculine and feminine. A good combo.
Did you ever like see his like shirt in the laundry and like smell it a little
I mean, they probably
bit?
smell all like ours because we all use the same detergent. But you know, like he'd be walking around with his shirt off sometimes, and especially
Hmm.
on nights out, like for dinner and stuff, like seeing him out of the like uniform and just like
Hmm.
because he wears like clothes that like people like skinny jeans and he like knows what to do, and so I would always do a second glance. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, he
Oh
was
God,
fun.
he's so fucking hot, man.
He was like the hottest person on our boat, which is so rare for the like I don't
Yeah,
think that's ever really happened for the captain to be like number one.
no. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would be like so nervous around him, you know. Did you
Yeah.
ever feel intimidated at all or no?
No, he had very like on the boat, he had very like nurturing energy towards me at least, like kind of like I don't want to say dad, but like that figure of like, here, I'll show you. Like I'll take my time and like show you the ropes type of thing.
Okay. I could see that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I could totally see that for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so I have final few questions here. What does the future look like for you?
My God, what a beautiful question. And thank you for asking.
No worries.
Yeah, so really big pussy energy is like I'm all the way into it. And so um taking it all over the country and the world and really creating this like I want to say movement of like sensuality and your sensual energy is sacred and safe, and it's beautiful to get into your body and give women an access of how to feel sexy in their bodies for themselves, and to feel sexy, not sexualized. So I see that going to different cities and to different countries, and allowing it to get big. And that's really what my future holds. And then, of course, like love and community as the foundation.
That's amazing. I think, what would you say to people who are apprehensive to get involved in that? Like,
Yeah, well, the first thing because I hear that all the time, like, oh, that's not me, that's for you, or oh, that's scary, like that's an edge, and that like is like kind of stretchy. And that is all very like welcome. And of course, that makes sense because of just the way our culture, not just our, but like the culture of our society and religions in the world has really made us feel suppressed and shamed for even any part of our sensual energy. And to remember that sensual energy is innate, it's the same thing as hunger. We just have culturally chosen it to be something to be ashamed of. And that when you really tap into your sensual energy, it's your sexual energy is like life force energy. Like you and I were both created through sexual energy. The whole world was created through sexual energy. And so imagine a human life is able to be created in that energy. What else can be created? And that's where like passions and dreams and desires can really come into physical fruition. Um, so yeah, it can be a really beautiful, yeah, yeah,
wow.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So it can be something you use in your everyday life to create the life that you want.
Yeah. That, I mean, that was so good. Like, that was so
Hmm.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can tell that people pay you or people rely on you for advice and help with that because you sound really educated and everything in it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, really, at the end of the day, like I don't really teach them. I just really guide them into their own bodies. It's like I know this because I felt it, right? I've
Mhm.
seen in my own eyes. Like I I below deck happened through because I was like pulling in the desires of, what I wanted. And you do that, everyone talks about manifestation and to manifest, like you need to really anchor in like, yes, this is for me and this is happening. And um be in a high vibration too. And like being in your sensual and sexual energy like creates that space. Like being in your body grounds you and like, yes, I am getting this. And then
Mhm.
you can create sexual energy to pull in what you desire to you.
Well, I think if you ever open it up to men, I think I would be really interested in doing it. Like it sounds like something I
Yeah.
definitely need. I always feel like awkward with myself sometimes, and I'd love to,
Yeah.
feel more comfortable with myself and in that sense. So
Yeah. That's amazing. I love you saying that because of course, this is for everyone. And the reason why it's for women is because it's coming from my personal journey as a female. And being a female, to have a container for women to reclaim their sensuality together is so powerful. And then having a container for men and women to reclaim it together is extremely powerful, and it's a completely different medicine.
mhm.
So that's why I say like yes, it's for I'm doing it as a like female identifying space, and there's also spaces where men and whoever want to come in as well.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
definitely keep us updated on, future businesses and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest, ask, talk about?
I mean, I guess, as the season has come to an end and Peacock and Bravo, it was a I just have so much gratitude for you guys, for you, for the fans, for like caring and like being along the journey with me and with us. It was such a fun experience, and um, you know, it like I said, it's crazy for me to be like, yeah, I was on a TV show, and I get so filled up when people come up and like recognize me, and so I just want to say thank you to you and to everyone. It's been, and it's not ending, but
Yeah.
it just feels like I just want to say thank you.
Oh, that's so nice. Like no one's ever kind of said all that before. So, oh,
Yeah, yeah, I have so much gratitude. I wouldn't be here, and like, you know, it's a community driven experience for sure.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I just thought of one more question though, and it's a
Yeah.
question I get every day. Where is your guys' reunion?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's happening because we
Oh,
were a Peacock original, not a Bravo original, and I guess because of that, it's just Peacock. Yeah. I know, trust
oh,
me, I want a reunion. I want to see everyone in person. I haven't seen everyone in person since we filmed. So, and I think we have a lot to talk about and a lot of like things to mend over that
yeah.
I'd love to do with a camera.
Oh my God, I should put on my best Andy Cohen and we can have an unofficial reunion.
Yeah, like fuck it. If they're not gonna do it, like we might as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, because you and Toomey and Aisha had one, didn't you? Kind of.
Yeah, we just did an Instagram live
Yeah,
together, and that was really nice because that of course is only one perspective or like one side because it's like us girls. So yeah, it'd be cool to hear all of our perspectives and hear how the show affected them and like what they're doing and like asking like what's your vision now? Because I think that's a great question.
cool. Well, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pop Off with James. I am James Pike, and this is Brittini. Brittini, where can we find you online?
I am on Instagram, Brittini Burton. I also have Big Pussy Energy on Instagram with one S. And I also have bigpussyenergy.co as my website where you can keep up to date. I'm having a retreat in Austin, Texas in March. So definitely check that out.
Ooh, good job. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too.
You can find me on Instagram at Pop Off with James. If you're listening to this episode, you can definitely watch the video version on YouTube. My views have been pretty low on YouTube, so if you could just like go over there and watch this video, that would be great. And below deck above average at it's James Pike, and I also have the handle at below deck adventure. Isn't that so cool?
What?
I snagged her, yeah.
God, smart. Someone might pay you like a good amount to take it.
All right, it's for sale if anybody wants it.
Like an investment now.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. You did a
Yeah,
really good job.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you. You too. Bye.
tuning in. If you're listening to this, please go to YouTube and watch it at Pop Off with James, the video version. And I hope you guys have a good day.